Okay, let's just dive right in. You're here right now because there's something bugging you. A task, a project, something in the back of your mind that you know you should be doing, but every time you even think about it, your brain magically finds 1,000 other things to do. Well, guess what? In the next few minutes, we're going to learn how to destroy that impulse for good. So take a second. No, really, what is that one thing? Is it a big project for work? A tough conversation you need to have? Maybe it's starting a new habit. Get that thing crystal clear in your mind, because by the end of this, you're going to have the exact tools you need to finally get started. Does that sound familiar? I mean, that's the story most of us tell ourselves, right? We think it's some kind of character flaw, a problem with our willpower. We beat ourselves up thinking, ugh, if I were just a stronger person, I'd just do it. But that story, the one you've been telling yourself for years, it's a complete lie. Procrastination has almost nothing to do with being lazy. It's about a very specific system in your brain that's been hijacked, and we're about to find out exactly how. So here's the first huge mind shift you need to make. Procrastination is just fear wearing a clever disguise. Seriously, it's not a moral failing on your part. It's just a survival mechanism that's gone a little haywire in the modern world. Deep inside your brain, you have this little almond-shaped region called the amygdala. Think of it as your brain's ancient bodyguard. It's been programmed over millions of years with one simple mission: spot danger and keep you safe. And when it senses a threat, it screams, "Danger, run!" And here is the fundamental problem. As you can see right here, your amygdala, well, it isn't very smart. It literally cannot tell the difference between a real, life-or-death threat, like a hungry lion, and a psychological threat, like the fear of being judged or failing at a big presentation. To that ancient part of your brain, they feel exactly the same. So your amygdala starts screaming danger just because you have to write a report. And then your modern, rational brain, the prefrontal cortex, has to make sense of that panic. So what does it do? It invents these beautiful, logical-sounding excuses. Oh, I'll do it when I feel more inspired. I just need to do a little more research first. You know what? Now's not the right time. These aren't reasons. They're rationalizations to justify the urge to flee. So if fear is the alarm going off, what's the fuel for procrastination? Well, that brings us to our next culprit, a little chemical you've probably heard of called dopamine. It's basically the molecule of motivation. It's what drives you to do, well, anything. Now, you can think of your brain having two different dopamine systems. On one hand, you've got these quick, sharp, impulsive hits of what's called phasic dopamine. That's the little jolt you get from a social media notification or watching a funny cat video. It's a cheap thrill. On the other hand, you have tonic dopamine, a steady, low-level flow that fuels long-term focus and effort. The problem is, our modern world is designed to hijack our brains with those easy, quick hits, which makes it nearly impossible to access the steady kind we need for deep work. Okay, so we understand the biology, we understand the chemistry behind the problem. The good news is we can actually fight back. The whole key is using very specific tools to manage that fear response and get our dopamine working for us, not against us. So let's build your toolkit. Your first tool is simple. You have to name your fear. See, unspoken fears are like these giant, vague shadows on the wall. They feel huge and terrifying. But the moment you grab a piece of paper and physically write it down, I'm afraid people will think my idea is stupid. You drag it out of the shadows. You make it concrete. You turn this big, scary monster into a small, manageable problem that your rational brain can actually start to solve. Okay, tool number 2 is a powerful mind trick. Your brain is wired to avoid immediate discomfort. But what if we made not doing the thing feel even more painful? So I want you to actually visualize the future. Fast forward 6 months. If you do nothing on this task, where are you? What have you lost? Now what about 3 years from now? The goal here is to make the long-term pain of regret feel more real, more immediate, and way more threatening than the short-term discomfort of just getting started. All right, now let's build a system to manage that dopamine. First, just focus on one and only one hard task per day, not a to-do list with 10 things on it. Second, give yourself less time than you think you need. An artificial deadline creates urgency. Third, and this is crucial, decide on your reward before you start working. And finally, be ruthless. Remove every single thing that can give you that cheap dopamine hit. Your phone goes in another room. All notifications get turned off. You get the idea. And now for our final tool. It might be the most powerful one of all, and it all comes down to a single number: 2. This little trick is specifically designed to defeat the hidden cause of so much procrastination, and that's perfectionism. It's called the 2-minute rule. Here's how it works. You commit to doing the task for just 2 minutes. That's it. But here's the magic part. You do it with zero expectation of quality. You give yourself permission for it to be absolutely terrible. Why does this work? Because starting is always the hardest part. Your brain can't use perfectionism as an excuse if you've already decided it's going to be bad. All you're trying to do is break inertia. 2 minutes. Anyone can do 2 minutes. Now, all these tools are incredibly powerful, but for long-term, lasting change, you need something deeper. What's going to get you to use these tools on the days you just don't feel like it? It's not about tricks anymore, it's about connecting to your real motivation. So you have to ask yourself, what is your why? What is the deep, emotional reason you need to get this done? Is it so you don't disappoint the people who are counting on you? Is it to prove that one person wrong who said you'd never amount to anything? Maybe it's to build a life your parents could only dream of, or simply to avoid looking back at your life with that horrible feeling of what if. You have to find the fire that's already inside you. Okay, we've covered the science, we've covered the psychology, and we've built the toolkit. But you know what? Information without action is totally useless. So I have a challenge for you. Don't try to do all of them. Just pick one. Which one will it be? Are you going to write your fear down on a piece of paper? Are you going to try the 2-minute rule on that task we talked about at the beginning? Just pick one and commit to actually applying it in the next 24 hours. That's how you turn this from something you watched into something you do. And I want to leave you with this one final thought, because when you finally truly connect the dots between that annoying task you have to do today and the person you are trying to become, procrastination stops feeling like a bad habit. It starts to feel like a betrayal against your own future. And that is a feeling powerful enough to make you act.